the apex of the American wine industry. It's what set the tone for. It's what opened. It's what really led this American wine revolution in a sense.
Much like the legendary company you used to work for, you then transferred to working legendary wine regions. Tell us about the regions that the Vice is in, and equally important, how the heck did you get grapes sourced?
Sure. So I'll answer the first question. So I chose Napa Valley because Napa one is the Vice to me, hence the name of the Vice wine, name of the brand. My Vice is wine, but the Vice is Napa, and I've always been a huge fan of Napa. And Napa is the apex of the American wine industry. It's what set the tone for. It's what opened. It's what really led this American wine revolution in a sense. It all started really with Napa back in the 60s and 70s. But so I wanted to shoot for the top because you know because of that aspect, and also it's just part of the American dream as an immigrant. There is nowhere on the planet. I can't imagine myself going to France, Italy, or Spain and walking right into their top wine region and say I'm going to do what I do today. I will. I have no doubt I wouldn't be welcomed. So Napa did just the opposite and welcomed me and gave me an opportunity, not just as a wine region, but as a community. The second thing, the second question, how I got into uh, having access to these grapes, a lot of it is street work. A lot of it is just putting the time here. I was coming a lot to Napa and hanging out to, a lot of places where winemakers hang out for lunch or dinner and talking to the bartenders and doing my due diligence and investigating on my own and really networking and knocking at doors, not being afraid to knock at doors and introduce myself to people and tell them about what my plans are and see if they're willing to sell me some grapes. And in this industry, when you contract with somebody buy the grapes, you pay a little bit, a third, a quarter of what the grapes are worth when you first pick the grapes, and then the rest within time in the new year or so. A lot of what I've done in the beginning was prepaying. So I prepaid for the grapes. Well, they were still hanging on the vines. It's almost like buying the fish while still fish swimming in the ocean. So in that sense, they owed me versus like I was in the mercy of a lot of the growers to sell me grapes. They already had they already got paid, so they they had to work with me in a sense, and being 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 again honest, not being late on payments or anything like that, and having good relationships with the growers goes a very long way.
If I'm allowed to ask, self-financed, third-party financed? I mean, this is a big undertaking.
Yeah, so actually, all self-financed.
Okay,
Since day one.
beautiful. Okay.
No problem. So you see, part of me about not going to college was about not having debt and wanting to make money. So I had a goal by the age of 21. I have a number that was a six-digit number that I had saved in actual cash, uh,
Wow.
and I did. And then I had another goal for when I reached 30, but I didn't, that wasn't more financial. It was more about being financially independent through owning businesses. And I kind of achieved that goal with Device and my import business prior. But I've dressed really nice all the time, but I was frugal. I knew how to get a good deal, and but I lived a luxury life, but also I was frugal at the same time. I know it sounds oxymoronic, but I did save. Um, I've saved, through all my 20s, and I doubled down on myself and invested on the vice, and I gambled on me. So it was the best investment I've done. I didn't really put my savings into the stock market or into anything. It was more like, you know, let's put it on the vice and go from there.
So, Malik, thank you for your time. You've talked about your wines, your background. How can we help you? What is your request from the audience watching and listening? And how can we learn more about you and your brand? How can we shop your wines? How can we find you?
Well, thank you for asking. Um, how you can help me? I see myself as an ambassador of Napa Valley. So I encourage you to please, discover Napa and keep it as the leading wine region in the world. We are a wine stop shop for Napa Valley. We have the most diverse portfolio of Napa Valley wines at a great price point. Please check us out, thevice.com. Please follow us. Please don't hesitate to reach out. Fun fact is that our corks have my phone number on them. So this is
Ah,
my number. You can text me, call me, DM me, FaceTime me. If I'm not in an awkward situation, I'll pick up. But I'm very accessible. Um, you know, I'd love to. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to answer your questions. I'd love to help you discover the wine industry, but specifically Napa. I'd love to help you not only discover it and enjoy it as well.